Welcome, ladies and gents, to the province of KwaZulu-Natal, a province that is very beautiful, especially on a dewy winter morning, and a great place indeed to invite a bunch of journalists for a launch. In this case, Suzuki has decided to beef up its adventure range with the 259,000 Rand DE version of its 1050 V-Strom, and with the introduction of a special little bike indeed, the new V-Strom 250 SX. Suzuki didn't choose some remote game reserve or desert trail, but instead decided to take us to Africa. Real Africa. That's densely populated, with roads that occasionally run out of tar, and a lot of spectacular sights. It's also the sort of thing people will more commonly encounter when they do the whole African experience, and Suzuki believe they have just the bikes to tackle that. The DE version of the 1050 is much the same as the non-DE model. It has mostly the same chassis with the same alley frame, and the same old school Dakar looks with the same 1037cc 90-degree V-twin motor pushing 107 horsepower and 100 Nm of torque. But with this motor, it's more than just about how fast you can go.
This bike is not fast. I mean, it's not fast, not compared to other things out there, especially the really big adventure bikes. It's also not slow. And this motor has to be reliable. It is reliable. We know it's reliable. It's an old motor. The foundations of this motor are still from the old 1997 TL1000, the superbike that they built in 1997. It's still the same. It's changed a lot. I mean, a lot of bits and bobs have been removed and changed and redesigned, but the foundation is still the same. It's still in many ways the same motor. It's a 26-year-old motor, of course, modernized. And they've got to be good at it. Suzuki is very, very good at this motor. And it's the sort of thing you just kind of know you're going to go anywhere and it'll never let you down. Not long ago we rode a KTM 1290 Super Adventure R. If you haven't seen that, go have a look at our YouTube channel. But yeah, we tried to see how fast we could go on it. And it was scary. It was scary. That motor kind of dares you. It's sort of like, you touch the throttle, come on, I dare you, go, touch it, see what happens. This is a bit different to that. This kind of encourages you. It's like, come on, give it a go, you'll see it's fun, you'll be okay, don't worry, we'll get through this together.
And then, of course, it's a V configuration. We like Vs.
And there's something about riding a V-twin, just a V. I mean, a lot of the big thing nowadays is parallel twin, and if you're an engineer, that makes all the sense in the world. It's more compact, it's easier to manufacture, it's cheaper, it's everything. If you're a rider, there's something about a V-twin. There's just something that it's sort of called a rumble or a character or something, but a V-twin just seems to speak to you more. It just seems to answer. When you open the throttle, it answers you. It doesn't do what it's told, it answers you.
While the calipers and general braking hardware are the same as the standard model, the DE has a slight but significant difference.
Thank goodness for ABS. I mean, when ABS first came out on bikes, I was one of those people who was like, ABS, really? Now I've got a different shoot. I mean, today, earlier, sadly not on film, we were going around a corner, and one of them tightened up a lot. It was quite a slippery road, and it needed brakes. You needed a brake to, slow down to make the corner, and I'm quite convinced that if this thing didn't have ABS, I would have fallen down. Or gone on the wrong side of the road, something like that. Then again, on this, the DE model, you can turn off the rear ABS, and that's fun too.
Fun indeed, especially when riding off-road. And here is where we touch on the point of the DE. Most of it is the same as the standard 1050, except for a huge splash of ruggedness. It has scaffolding bending down the side of the motor to grab the ground before the casing does, should it fall over. It has a bash plate for when tackling boulders, and KYB suspension with 10mm more travel.
KYB always seems to fly under the radar as a suspension brand. I mean, we know about Öhlins, everybody rides Öhlins, WP, KTM, all the way, Shower, big piston forks, all that kind of thing. Yeah, KYB, you just don't, it doesn't get the same coverage of the others, which is a shame, because every time you ride a bike that has KYB suspension, it just feels, I'm going to use the word nice. I mean, it's a bit of a half-hearted word, but it's true. You just feel nice. It soaks it all up, it feels good, or life is good. And we're about to overtake some cows. Hello, cows. And a truck stuck in the middle of the road. Hello, truck stuck in the middle of the road. Why is there a truck stuck in the middle of the road? Welcome to Africa.
And, of course, then there's the 21-inch spoked front wheel, the gold standard of off-road adventure motorcycling, with a 17-inch spoked rear wheel to match.
So I've always wondered what the thing about 21-inch front wheels is, and this is going back 20 years now, because I remember doing the Desert on bikes that had 19-inch wheels, and the Desert is 4 days of Namibian dirt and all sorts of things, and it was good fun, it was great. I mean, maybe 21-inch felt a bit better, but 19-inch worked really well. I had a lot of fun, and yet there's so many people who are just like, if it doesn't have 21-inch, then it's pointless, don't even bother. But there's something I kind of get. I mean, okay, 21-inch, if you're doing hardcore enduro or you're motocross or something like that, yeah, it makes sense. You've got to hit those big rocks and stuff. If you're going down a gravel road, well, not really. But here is something. When you're going through Africa, and what we're doing today is proper Africa, not the sort of stuff you see in a tourist textbook, tourist brochure, proper Africa, which is very overused roads, very under-maintained roads, and lots of potholes. And when you're going through potholes, you want the biggest wheel you can get. Smaller wheels go in the pothole, bigger wheels roll over them. For that reason especially, I think, yeah, 21-inch, I'm a little bit sold.
Naturally, the D is very off-road capable, but this comes with its own set of challenges.
This bike is tall, I mean really tall. But, you know, when you're riding you don't really feel it. It doesn't give you the sort of height and like you're sort of sitting on stilts, no. So it's not really a problem, you know, unless of course you want to reverse your bike out of a garage, or you want to make a U-turn, or you want to stop. But apart from those times, it's not a problem.
Apart from the rear ABS turning off, the D is also laced with more electronic goodness, including a TFT dash.
The dash takes a while to get used to. I mean, it's very much typical Japanese, numbers everywhere. We've got to put as many numbers as we can. So the first time you look at it, you just get a whole lot of, I don't know, failing high school maths phobia. But the more you look at it, the more you work it out, you get used to it. It sort of works, you know. Once you know where to look, how to look, what to look for, it's fine. And we criticize stuff as journalists because we ride a bike for a day or two and we, you know, don't come to terms with it. But keep it for a lifetime and it gets better and better.
It also has such fun as a two-way quick shifter with a special G mode on the traction control that lets the rear wheel step out sideways to some degrees, but not enough to end your journey in a heap. And a long journey it could well be.
The sort of proportions, the ergonomics on this bike feel really good. The Japanese are very good at that. With it being taller, I mean, it's got a lot of legroom. I don't know if they increased the distance of the foot pegs. Probably not. But it's lots of legroom. The handlebars are exactly where I want them. The seat is comfortable. It's actually, you kind of fit in it very nicely. It sort of encapsulates you, but in comfort. Like an old couch that just sort of knows you. So the DL1050, the V-Strom, it's a bike a lot of people, especially in South Africa, have been overlooking. And, you know, it's not the most powerful, it's not the most sort of full of gadgets, not the most full of features, but it's just a very reliable, dependable, extremely easy bike to ride. Except now it's got all the bits and pieces people want. All those boxes are ticked. And it's 259,000 Rand. That's not a bad price at all for a bike that'll probably outlive the sun. Why not? Why not buy a V-Strom? Really? It's an interesting question.